So I'm Lisa DeWild, and I'm the chair of the board of TIFF. I also serve as Chief Executive Officer at TVO, and I'm on a couple of private sector boards as well. So I would say it was less than 10 years ago. TIFF was embarking on some pretty big, ambitious projects like building the Lightbox in downtown Toronto. And was looking at what kind of a board would we need to be successful, going out the next 10, 20 years. And I think, building a board is something that takes a long-term perspective. And, we just got really clear that we wanted to have a skills-based board. So we created a matrix of the types of skills that would be relevant to a film organization. And then we just sort of started setting objectives of how do we recruit people to bring those different skills to the board, and at the same time, bring different perspectives and to represent, different groups within Toronto. I think that everything starts with a commitment around, what outcome are you seeking to obtain? And, I think that an organization will want to get really clear on why they want to increase the inclusiveness of their board, and start with that really clear commitment. And then from that place, you can then put in place processes that will produce a really robust board recruitment process. Well, I'm a big believer in having objectives, having them be measurable, and then making sure that you do it, that you you look critically at your performance. This is, again, this is not rocket science. Mm-hmm. You look at the size of your board, you look at the skills and the talents, the experience that you need, that you're missing, and have a plan. The turnover on boards can be a powerful way to accelerate and to get momentum more quickly. So looking at things like the term limits on boards is a good way to help to redevelop your board more rapidly. I think it really does come down to why wouldn't you want to tap into the full talent pool? It's a point that I think has been used to good effect when we talk about women on boards and those type of initiatives. But I think it goes back to first principles. In most organizations, the human capital, the talent, is one of the most important, if not the most important, part of running a successful organization. So of course you want to tap into the best people who are available to you. I think it does come back to the question of marshaling all available talent to serve the organization and its objectives. I think it is about being relevant to your community, so reflecting the community that you serve and that you work as part of. And I think it's important to be seeing inclusivity as really just a fundamental part of the way that talent across all parts of the organization are recruited, retained, and developed. I'm a big believer in a skills matrix, so look to see what skills you're missing, and then focus on developing a really rich pool of potential candidates to fill that gap on your board. Well, I think, like with so many things now, it really is about how do you avail yourself of the best practices that other organizations have used. This is not a new initiative, so there are people out there, organizations that have been successful, and so this is like a great opportunity to reach out and and tap into existing networks of people. And really, you're not alone, I think is the important message. Okay, so when an executive wants to open up the conversation with their board about how do we start to embark on an inclusivity project, I think it can be pretty simple to look to the audience, to look to who is the community that your organization is set up to serve, and take them for a walk down the street in Toronto and just start to ask really simple, basic questions about how do we reflect this amazing city that we are a part of. I think one of the things I'm proud of with TIFF is it was a deliberate choice, using a skills-based approach to the board. So really trying to understand what the skills were that the board needed. So from tactical, financial acumen, legal, understanding technology, understanding people management. And so it was really using that template and then going out and really looking for and being happily able to find really great people. I think challenges are kind of the nature of building any organization. And so it really is just about being committed to what you want to do and not being fussed by the fact that it might be harder than you think it will be, or I think it's about being committed to what you're setting out to do, and being very self-aware, being very deliberate about what you're doing, and having lots of open communication as you go through that recruitment process. I mean, it is a process that takes lots of dialogue and lots of meetings, lots of interviews. You want to make sure that every candidate that you're talking to is really getting a good understanding of what the organization's objectives are, and you really want to match what the organization is looking for with what the candidate wants to bring to the organization.